Well, whoever buys that's a fucking idiot.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for today, this one's going to be doing our next movie review, this one is for The Final Break from 2009. So obviously wanted to do a review for the final act of the Prison Break franchise, that's right, there's no more, there's no more. This one is it, Prison Break, The Final Break. So, this is also going to be considered a movie review because obviously this is a film, but it is also the conclusion of our Prison Break coverage on the channel. Yep, totally is. But that is The Final Break. So, after obviously the first 4 seasons, the show left us in a spot that was pretty insane. We found out that Michael died, and we have to now kind of watch this movie to figure out how necessarily did that happen? You know what I mean? So, this movie is led by Sarah Tancredi, which I thought was incredible. I thought that was an incredible choice because, I mean, she's one of the best characters on the show for one thing, but also because I really enjoyed seeing the perspective of what they did here. They're celebrating, right? And this movie kind of starts all nice, right? They're like, their names are clear, Kellerman helped them out, everything's going well. And then, all of a sudden, the cops show up, and Sarah is taken in because her name was not cleared. And she obviously is being arrested for murder. So now, obviously, the situation is she's locked up. And now it's Michael's turn and Lincoln's turn and, Sucre's turn and everybody else to help her out of jail rather than her help them out of jail in the first season. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool the way this comes around, and it's a perfect final act for Prison Break. It really is. That's why it is the final act, right? So I really like it because, you got her, she's locked up in this jail. You've got kind of this like woman version of Teabag, you know what I mean, which I found kind of funny. And well, you also got Gretchen in there too, which Gretchen was arrested in season 4. So they have to kind of work together to get out, which I thought was crazy. And Sarah goes through rough times in this prison, man. We get to see a women's prison, which I thought was great in the franchise, because why would you close Prison Break without showing a woman's prison? That's almost like a must before you close a prison show, you know what I mean? Is at least show, both, a male prison and a female prison, So they did that for this movie, and I thought it worked really, really well. The drama was incredible, and obviously the main mission is to have Michael break her out. So the way this all kind of operates and the way this all kind of goes down is Mahone, he helps them to a degree, but he does leave on his own. Mahone kind of gets a nice conclusion, which is nice. I like seeing that. I kind of like seeing Mahone's, end on the show. I thought that was all really cool. We get to see our crew basically do whatever they can to get in there. And, I mean, this leads to one of the most sad, heartbreaking scenes I've ever seen of television. This movie happens for probably the main reason is this is the death of Michael, which we all knew happened after the end of the original show, but they really make this sad. You know how Sarah opened up the door for Michael? Well, Michael left the door open for Sarah. And he basically dies and gets obliterated in this prison. But she gets out. But he dies for her. And it's so sad, man, because when they're breaking her out and you got, Sarah that gets out and you got Lincoln that's sitting there and he's like, where's Michael? And Sarah doesn't know what to say. And he's like, where is he? You know what I mean? And you learn that Michael died. And that's how they do it. And it's a beautiful conclusion at that. I mean, honestly, it kind of got me emotional. I'm not gonna cap. The shit was sad, man. It was sad. And they twist that knife one more time. Everybody goes their separate ways, and you got Sarah and Lincoln that kind of are just on their own now. And Michael leaves that final tape for them, and he basically says, he's like, listen, after all we've gone through, after everything we've done, we're free now. Finally, And he says, Lincoln, take care of my kid, help Sarah, obviously. Sarah, raise my kid right. I did this all for everybody. I did this for Sarah, of course. And, he says, we're free. Finally. That's how it ends. That's how Prison Break comes to a conclusion. You couldn't ask for a more fitting conclusion to a leading character. You really couldn't. And that's why it's a Sarah movie, but it's disguised as that, you know. It is, but then under the surface, it's really the big conclusion of Prison Break. You know what I mean? I honestly have never been so satisfied with an ending of a show since, like, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, shit like that. This was so damn satisfying and fitting to me. It's not even funny. And to finish it all off with a movie like this was just a phenomenal idea. I loved The Final Break. I loved this movie. I thought it was a really great way to kind of put a bow on everything Prison Break related, and kind of finish everything off. It was honestly such a good thing they did. It was a great way of bringing it home, bringing the story together, and really making it feel big. You know what I mean? So that's The Final Break right there. That's The Final Break of Prison Break. Honestly, 10 out of 10 film. I absolutely loved it. And the conclusion of Michael Scofield is absolutely incredible. And no, nothing happens later. Nothing happens later. Don't tell me it did. So, as much as I would like to say that this is the end of my Prison Break reviews, next week we will be back with that thing. If you know, you know. There's one more thing to watch. There isn't, but there is. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that till next week. This is the conclusion of Prison Break. And as a show overall, incredible series. Incredible fucking series. I had my grievances with season 3, but overall, it was a great run. It was a great series. It did a great job at a lot of things. And Prison Break as an overall show, I would give a 9. 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 series. It's a great journey. It's genuinely amazing. This movie, however, I would give a 10 out of 10. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I thought it was phenomenal. I liked the way they wrapped everything up. It came full circle with Sarah and Michael, and obviously Mahone's conclusion was nice, and, you know, everything else. I genuinely thought they went out in a great way, and I thought it was honestly as fitting could be, honestly. So that is that, guys. That is Prison Break. That is The Final Break. That is season 4, the final season, and the final movie. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Prison Break overall as an overall run. And will you tune in next week for me to review that bullshit that happened? Let me know. So, if you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoyed this video, of course, make sure to click subscribe. If you don't miss any of the videos, make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.